There is a silence inside you that even your loudest thoughts cannot reach. A silence carved not by peace, but by wounds too ancient to name, wounds inherited, wounds ignored, wounds passed on like heirlooms, wrapped in the illusion of love, yet heavy with pain. Unless you turn inward and face the truth, you will live your life in quiet rebellion against a shadow you dare not name your mother, the woman herself. No, what she became in your mind. Carl Jung called it the mother imago, the inner image of the mother that we carry in our unconscious. Not the mother of memory, the mother of the psyche. She is the first cathedral your spirit ever knew, the first voice, the first warmth, the first fear. She is Eden and exile, heaven and hell, all in one. And if you've never truly faced her, you are still a child, grown on the outside, but within, lost in her gaze, begging for approval, fearing her rejection, becoming what she needed, instead of who you are. You can chase success, chase peace, chase purpose, but if the mother complex runs your inner world, then your achievements are compensations, not creations. Your relationships become reenactments, not choices. You become an echo, not a voice. And Jung warned us, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. How many of your beliefs about love were hers? How many of your fears about failure were hers? How many of your dreams did you bury, just to keep her smiling? How many times have you apologized for your power, because it made her uncomfortable? This is not about blame, it's about truth. Until you are willing to go into the cave of your own origins, to meet the shadow mother you carry inside, you will remain her prisoner. Because here's the secret they don't tell you. Healing doesn't begin with affirmations or routines or goals. It begins with grief, with fire, with staring into the raw face of the one you needed most and admitting where she failed you, or where you lost yourself trying to protect her. This is the beginning of individuation, the heroic path Jung spoke of, the breaking of the psychic umbilical cord, not to dishonor the mother, to liberate the self. And you cannot take that journey by pretending everything was fine. So many of us wear masks, polished, controlled, successful, and underneath it all, a terrified child still hoping mommy will say, "You did good," still hoping someone will validate the pain we've been trained to deny. But that validation has to come from within, from the soul, from truth. If you want real freedom, you must go back and reclaim the pieces of yourself you left behind in that childhood battlefield. You must face the uncomfortable reality that even love can wound, that some mothers give warmth and others give wounds disguised as duty, twisted into control, affection tainted by fear. And if your heart still clenches at hearing this, good, that means you're close. That means the illusion is cracking. Because when you face the truth about your mother, not the fairy tale, the mask, but the real psychic imprint she left in you, you begin to reclaim your life. You begin to rise as the adult you were meant to be, the child who learned to survive. You begin to choose who you are, not just react to what you inherited. The mother is the first God a child ever knows. Her presence is omnipotent. Her moods are weather systems. Her approval is paradise. Her absence, fall from grace. This is not mythology. This is the psychological reality etched into the nervous system of every child. And if her love was conditional, inconsistent, or cold, then your identity was built not on truth, but on performance. You became the pleaser, the fixer, the overachiever, the silent one, the rebel, each role a mask, each behavior a survival strategy. And the world claps for you. It rewards the mask because it doesn't see the cost. It doesn't see the child inside who doesn't know how to rest, who doesn't know how to receive, who doesn't know how to be seen without shame. And so, you keep running from yourself, from the stillness, from the moment when you might actually have to ask, what if I don't need to be perfect to be loved? What if I was enough all along? But those are dangerous questions when your inner mother is still watching, because the psychic mother does not live in your past. She lives in your nervous system. She lives in the critic that calls you lazy, in the fear of asking for help, in the reflex to shrink when you feel joy. And until you speak to her, not the woman, the image within, she will shape your future. Jung said that to become whole, we must integrate the unconscious. That means walking back through the dreams, the patterns, the reactions, and realizing you are not broken. You are responding perfectly to the emotional blueprint you were given. But now it's time to rewrite it. You do that not by resenting her, by condemning her, but by telling the truth. Mother taught me that love is earned. My mother taught me that I must not shine too bright. My mother taught me that my needs are a burden. My mother taught me to fear my own voice. To say it, let it burn. This is not about vilifying her. This is about waking up. You are not obligated to carry her pain like a torch. You are not required to live out her unlived dreams. You are not her second chance. You are your own becoming. And the moment you realize this, the moment you stand in your truth and say, I release the image of the mother I had to create just to survive, that is the moment you begin to be reborn. Not as her child, but as yourself. You must understand. The greatest rebellions do not happen in the streets. They happen in the soul. They begin the moment you stop trying to become what your mother needed and start becoming what your soul demands. That moment, that terrifying, sacred rupture, is where healing is born. But make no mistake, healing is not a soft word. It is not a spa day or a journal entry. Healing is a war between the false self you built to survive and the true self waiting underneath. And in that war, your mother's voice will echo, her physical voice, but the one she planted inside you. You're too much. You're too sensitive. Why can't you just be normal? What will people think? Every time you want to rise, voice will try to pull you back. Not because she was evil, but because she was afraid. She passed on her fear as love, her shame as protection, silence as strength. You didn't just inherit her genes. You inherited her worldview, her limits, her traumas, her disappointments wrapped in advice, her survival mechanisms disguised as wisdom. And now, it's on you. You must become the one who breaks the cycle, one who doesn't just say, I'm different, but lives differently. That means facing the guilt, that thick, ancestral guilt that says if you grow beyond her, you've betrayed her. That guilt is the leash. That guilt is the spell. And until you break it, you'll keep shrinking every time you taste freedom. But let me tell you something. You are not here to be small. You are not here to inherit suffering like tradition. You are not here to protect your mother's ego at the cost of your essence. You are here to become what she could not as revenge, but as redemption. You carry her blood, yes, but you do not carry her fate. You carry her story, but you are the author now. And that means you must go into the forest of your own psyche, where the mother archetype still guards the gates. She will test you. She will whisper, who do you think you are? She will show you dreams of failure, being cast out, of being alone. You must walk through that anyway, because on the other side of that psychic confrontation is you. Not the version she approved of, not the version she raised, the version that was always waiting to be born. This is what Jung meant by individuation. It is the path from fusion to freedom, from unconscious imitation to conscious creation, and it cannot happen without pain, because birth is painful, and this is a second birth, the birth of your true self. A voiceover script, Chunk 4, look at history. How many great men and women were forged in the fire of a complex relationship with their mothers? Thomas Edison, expelled from school, labeled, addled, raised by a fiercely protective mother who believed in him when no one else did, but whose shadow clung to him in his restless obsessive need to prove he was not stupid. Walt Disney, whose childhood was ruled by a cold, joyless father and a nurturing yet emotionally distant mother, he spent his life creating worlds full of innocence and magic. The very childhood he never had. Abraham Lincoln, who lost his mother young and carried that wound through every battlefield, every speech, every moral stand. He became the father of a nation still aching for maternal compassion. Jung himself wrestled with his mother complex, a woman both mystical and unstable, nurturing and frightening. It shaped his fascination with the unconscious, with the archetypes, with the sacred feminine, and the devouring mother. These were not just personal wounds. They were sacred initiations. Because the wound is not where you stop. It is where you begin. When you face the mother complex, you are not erasing her. You are integrating her. You are turning the mother from a jailer into a guide, from a haunting into a symbol, from a wound into wisdom. You are saying, "Thank you for the life you gave me. And now, I must live it on my own terms." That is the most powerful act of love there is. Because until you do that, every relationship you enter, every lover, every friend, every mentor, will become a canvas onto which you project your unmet needs. You will look for the mother you never had in the arms of people who cannot hold her ghost. You will resent them for not healing a wound they didn't cause. You will repeat the pain, not because you want to, but because your unconscious still believes it can rewrite the past by re-creating it. And the only way out of that trap is to stand in front of the mirror and whisper, "I see you, mother. And I see me, not the same." That line, drawn with truth and trembling, is what creates adulthood. Not age, not responsibility. Separation, not separation built on hate. Separation built on love and honesty. Because the goal is not to abandon her. The goal is to meet her as an equal. And that can only happen when you stop needing her to be more than human. She was not your God. She was not your mirror. She was a woman with her own wounds, her own fears, her own unlived life. And maybe she never got to break free. But you can. Presence remains. There comes a moment in every awakening soul when you must turn inward, not with judgment, but with sacred curiosity. You must go back, not to relive the pain, but to retrieve the self that pain buried. You must look into your own eyes and ask her, "Who am I beneath the child who had to please her? What do I desire remains, stripped of her expectations? What truths am I still afraid to speak because her voice still echoes in my mind?" The answers won't come instantly. They will unfold like dreams, piece by piece, symbol by symbol, sometimes through tears, sometimes through rage, sometimes through strange peace, remains. But when they do arrive, you will know. You will know because your body will unclench. Your breath will deepen, remains. Your soul, long held hostage by the illusion that you must earn your place, will begin to return. You'll stop chasing validation, remains. You'll stop apologizing for your existence. You'll stop calling your numbness peace. You'll stop performing and begin to live. Presence remains. This is the gift hidden inside the wound, the gift of truth. And truth will cost you everything you were never meant to be. That is the price of freedom, and most never pay it. Most spend their lives trapped in roles assigned in childhood. The good son, the obedient daughter, the achiever, the caretaker, the invisible one, the angry one, the lost one. They build their identities on these foundations of sand and wonder why nothing feels solid. But you are being called higher. You are being called to confront the lie. The lie that says love means obedience. Presence remains. The lie that says you must shrink to be accepted. The lie that says healing means forgiving without feeling. No. Healing means facing, remain, facing the anger you were told was inappropriate, facing the grief you were told was dramatic, facing the hunger for affection you were told to silence. Presence remains, facing the parts of you that never got to speak, because you were too busy protecting the very person who wounded you. Presence remains, and when you face it, When you let the storm move through you, you don't become bitter. You become clean. Your soul returns to its original rhythm. Voice grows steady. Your heart opens, not to be taken, but to be shared. And suddenly, presence remains. You are no longer trying to fix your childhood through your job or your partner or your children. You stop bleeding onto people who didn't cut you. Presence remains. You stop waiting for your mother to finally become the woman you needed her to be. Because you become it. You become the nurturing force, the wise one, protector, the healer. You become the mother, not in gender, but in archetype, the mother of your own soul. And that is the moment you are reborn. You have to understand. Healing the mother wound is not the end of the journey. It's the beginning. Once the illusion breaks, once you stop casting her shadow over your future, something extraordinary happens. Clarity. The fog lifts. The fears you once mistook for intuition dissolve. You no longer chase relationships to feel safe. You create them from your fullness. You no longer need the world to validate your worth, because you've gone to the root of your pain and reclaimed it. You no longer repeat the past, because you've seen it, named it, and laid it down like a weapon no longer needed. And with that clarity comes power, dominance, not force, but sovereignty. The ability to stand in a room, untouched by old shame. The ability to speak and not tremble. The ability to rest without guilt. The ability to look in the mirror and say, I belong to me now. That is the real inheritance, the one your mother gave, but the one you gave yourself when you stopped living in her story. And it will not be easy. You will be tested. You will hear her voice in your doubts. You will feel her absence in your freedom. You will ache for the version of her that never existed. You must grieve that. Grieve the mother you needed. Grieve the childhood you didn't get. Grieve the years spent pretending. Grief is not weakness. It is the alchemy of transformation. It is the sacred release that makes room for your soul to breathe. And in that breath, you will find her again, not as the woman she was, but as the archetype within you. Transformed, balanced, integrated, no longer a shadow to run from, a strength to stand on. Because now you know she was never meant to complete you. She was meant to begin you. Now that you have faced her, you are free to complete yourself.